Hi, friends. Welcome to Joy Fido International. My name is Joy Fido, and welcome on board. So, as usual, we're going to start by thanking you for continuously watching our programs and being part of our discussions and conversations. It's been a really long journey, and I absolutely enjoy coming here to chat with you. And what is my reason for doing the things I do? I ask myself all the time, and finally come to this conclusion that really, for me in particular, it's about awakening the African consciousness. Awakening African consciousness. That's my main mission personally. And I realized that everything I've been doing, I've been working towards that direction without me knowing that that's how it's been. Because, in particular, living in the West for as long as I've done, I've taken on so much knowledge. I've learned so much. I've experienced so much. I've seen so much happening. And all of these things have really equipped me. They really equipped me to know what to say to maybe my younger self, if I was starting life again and someone came to me and said, based on your experiences, what would you advise me to do? And now I'm well equipped to be in that position to guide this younger person. And it's because of this guide that I come here to share my experiences with you. So that's why I do what I do, to awaken us to the realities of what life is. And for me, it's especially for us Africans, and maybe blacks in general, but in particular Africans. So what's my topic today? I call it blinded by programs. I know I talk a lot about programs, but you see, it actually touched a nerve in me when I did come across that book, The Biology of Belief. Because this is one of the biggest questions I've been asking. I know Joy Fido International, what message I share with you every day is let's start thinking. And of course, let's ask a lot of questions. But you see, that program woke me up. Because some of the questions I asked, which I still ask, is what made a certain race better than the other, and what made anybody feel they are superior to another person, and what puts people in a position where they make other people feel inferior to the other people, and because of the race you belong to, because of the color you have, because of where you come from, you automatically cannot fit into certain things. And that has been my question for as long as, or other issues have been, those who are rich, feeling that because they have money, they are now better than people who don't have money. And it pushed me to query a lot. I mean, this question did not start today. Right from Nigeria, where I was working in the bank then, and I was dealing with issues of bank owners just being extremely reckless with their businesses and the finances that people had entrusted to them, to take care of. And this wasn't happening. Rather, it was being wasted and put in ridiculous things. And I started questioning that. And then coming over to the West and then having to deal with this issue of racism and having people make you feel uncomfortable, in a place that you shouldn't feel that way, when you're intellectually and intelligently ready and able to do things, and automatically because of your color and because of where you come from, and you start hearing things as your accent is not good enough to fit into a certain role. I started questioning, and that pushed me to now start presenting these programs and I realized that we need to start thinking, because this whole thing is not making any sense. It wasn't making any sense to me, and I needed to research it and find out more. And that also pushed me to watch movies that made more sense to me. Like Doctor Strange is one of my favorite movies, where he's moving from realms and realms of life, and touching different things and being able to do whatever. And then you have the movie The Matrix, which also explained how we've all been made to act uniformly, when ideally we're not meant to be. We're all unique individuals, irrespective of your race, your color, your height, your sexuality or whatever. You are unique. And I wanted to know why that was now a bad thing, that your uniqueness is not a bad thing. So when I came across the biology of belief, he explained a lot of things. I also had the issues of where we were made to believe that because of your genes, you're meant to have certain illnesses automatically. And that book erased all of that too. So this is where the programs come in. And it's one of those really important topics all of us must wake up to. Because whenever you find yourself oppressed or suppressed or made to feel inferior or made to feel uncomfortable with yourself, there's something in there somewhere in your mindset that has put you in that place. And I know I was in that place. I know I was. Because, when I go back into my history, a young child growing up in Ogoni land in Nigeria, and my little community was made to feel uncomfortable. We were made to feel inferior, and I questioned it even as a young child. Why would you automatically think that just because someone is from Ogoni they don't fit in? And that raised my consciousness. I started questioning right from then. And then I worked my way up to the top, where in Lagos I was working with whoever mattered. I realized that it had nothing to do with where I came from. It's a mindset, it's a belief. You've accepted it. That's what it is. You've taken it on. And so when you take something on, it becomes you. And that's why it is so important that we start looking into the programs that we've taken on. Because these are the programs that are creating what you have become. And that's what Dr. Lipton in that Biology of Belief explained. He said, look at your life and you see where your programs are. And I have taken my time to look at me and know where all these programs have been. So we need to wake up and come out of that program, which most times in these videos I say to you, take the red pill, because that's what the Matrix said. He said, take the blue pill and you remain in the program, or take the red pill and you come out of the program. But you see, this blinded by programs is what is creating all the problems we've been dealing with, because the programs are instilled in us right from childhood. And it makes a lot of sense. I now understand, because although the biology of belief goes further to explain that right from when a child is in the mother's womb, the child is already feeling what's going on. They did a research where this mother who was pregnant with a baby, and every time she was having this quarrel with her husband, they were arguing, and loud noises were going on. Each time the child heard some noises, the child would blip, the baby in the womb will react. So it's like so many things are instilled into the child even before the child is born. But once the child is born, now, years ago when I started looking into this, I understood that the child's brain or mindset clearly is empty. It was called tabula rasa. It's an empty mindset. So it's like think about it like a computer. When you buy your computer and the hardware is empty, there's nothing in there apart from the automatic default or whatever the manufacturer had put in. So now the child starts to pick up things around himself or herself. So this is when this program starts. And that book, Biology of Belief, explains that up to the age of 7, the child's memory or mindset or brain is at a level we call it tether. Tether is the stage where you can absorb. You're basically downloading every information, everything that's happening around you, you're just taking it in. And so as you're taking all of this in, then as you're growing older and older, which at this stage is your subconscious mind that's taking in all this information. And sometimes you hear some children say, I remember something that happened when I was 3 or when I was 4. But obviously, further way below that, it's mostly difficult to remember. But all that information has been downloaded into that subconscious mind, which is the mind that actually runs us. And that's why you notice that it's automatic. Some things you do, you just do it. And somebody might say, but where did you learn that? I don't know. But because this thing's already been downloaded into your program, which is your subconscious mind, you just act based on that. And the conscious mind, which we've done a video about, it's the thinking mind. That's the mind that now actually says, let me think about this. Which is what he calls the honeymoon period. Like, when you actually do meet somebody, and then you fall in love, and then you think about what you're going to wear so you can go out with this person, or you think about what you say to the person, and you think about everything before you do it. Now, at that honeymoon stage or whatever, you're thinking about what you do. And you're thinking because you've fallen in love with this person and you want this person to accept you. So you bring your best part out. But according to him, when this phase is over, hence whenever people get married, people say, oh yeah, they're still at their honeymoon phase. Because at this stage, you're still acting out. You're being so clean and clever and clear in your thinking, clarity. You think about it before you do it. Once that phase is done, you then roll back to your automatic phase, which is your subconscious mind now begin to run things, because 95% of our day is run by the subconscious mind, which is this automatic mind, the mind where we downloaded everything we've been dealing with over the years. So at that stage, this person begins to see a different person. But see, the big picture here, the big message here, coming down to our topic, blinded by programs. We've been given all these things over the years. And so the more we're exposed to different things, the more things we're downloading into our subconscious that begins to run us. So now that we've been run by these programs that we are not in control of, suddenly we've accepted things that we shouldn't accept. And that's the blinding. We've accepted things that people have forced down on us, or they've made us to believe. Hence, you're black and so you don't fit in, and you accept it. You're short and that role is not good for you, you accept it. You're from this community, they're not good enough, you take it in. And so you then lose who you are. You then lose that stronger soul who is in you, who is hungry for knowledge, who wants to achieve something in life, who wants to contribute to life, like I'm saying to you, awaken your consciousness. You lose who you actually were sent here to be by your Creator. Which then reminds me of something exciting that I came across as well. You know me, like I'm always reading and learning. This is a new book I'm looking at now, Conversations with God. And it's by this man, Neil Donald Walsh. I've been watching him on YouTube as well, and he has a set of books. I bought it. And I've started reading it. And that's the message he's telling us, that every one of us, we are here with a purpose, with a mission, with something to do. But what's happening is we then forget who we are because we've been bombarded with all these things that's happening around us. So we've been bombarded by all these things around us. And because of the things around us, we've lost connection with who we are. Now, his story started with when he completely lost it as well, like every one of us. And for over a year, he actually was left homeless in the streets. And that was when he got angry, and he wrote a very angry letter to God and said, why am I in this situation? if you really do exist, you have to talk to me. And then he got answers and answers and answers, and all these answers became the book. It is amazing, amazing, interesting book to read. So now he's getting answers from God, and God is rightly telling him, listen, I speak to you every day. And that's the message I want us to get to. God lives in us. My understanding is, if I am alive, God is in me. That's just the way it is. It turns out we are all a part of God. We are all a piece of God. So there is no, you love this one better than this one, and because you're white, you're green, you're yellow, you're rich, you're poor. There is no such thing in the eyes of God. We are all his creation. We're all a part of him. We're all here with a mission, something to do. And apparently for God he calls it experiential, with his experience. For God to experience himself, he created each of us, or he made pieces of himself, which is us, to now come and experience what real life is. Because see, God doesn't come here and walk and then you say, oh, look at God. But God is in all of us. And so when we start to discriminate against this person and that person, and then we turn around and we say we're all Christians, or we are whatever religion we claim we are, we're invariably going against God. And it's things like this that create all the problems we deal with in the world. I mean, a good example, which is why for me it is so much focused on Africa, is I saw a video the other day, someone sent it to me on WhatsApp, and it made a lot of sense to me. It's about what is happening in Africa and Nigeria in particular. I know we Nigerians, we get really wound up easily about our politicians, which is very true. I mean, I received another text or message again on WhatsApp, which they actually went at length to explain and give details of how much each of these politicians have stashed away in various international banks, countries across the world, billions and billions. And it's like, when you actually sit down and do that, why would anybody do that? Because you see, the thing with money is money has no value until it's being used for something. And if all you have done is take that money and put it in a bank account and lock it up, what value is that money? And then obviously, because you stole it, you don't want anyone to know that you have that kind of money. And so for you, your way of showing power is to then buy people. If someone tries to, complain about what you've done or say anything negative about you, you look for a way to kill that person. You buy people to kill people. And that's your way of showing that you have money. I mean, money is meant to grow more money. Money is meant to be used for something. So if you're rich, you actually should be putting that money into value, into use. Creating employment, creating businesses, creating infrastructure. Then these things will now grow you more money. But we know that is there, that the politicians in Africa, in Nigeria, are like that. I mean, a good example is Robert Mugabe. At 90-something, he's dead now. But what happened to all the money he stashed away? I mean, I was speaking to somebody the other day, and the lady was saying to me, someone sent her a video showing Robert Mugabe's empire in his village. It was endless. More than a village, that it's just his home. Now that he's gone, was my question. Has he gone with the homes? Did he take it with him? No. So that's Nigerian politicians for you, or African politicians. I know the same is happening across the world. But you see, ours is so bad, because this video I was watching, the one I'm talking about right now, that really, again, made me see things the way I've always known it. It's a documentary, a program. They were interviewing this person on Russia television, RT. I mean, you probably say, don't even go there, Russia. But you see, this was a program on RT explaining the situation in Nigeria. 70% of our population are in abject poverty. I mean, I have seen it for myself. I don't need to be told by a program. I go to Nigeria and I cannot even access an international market. This is like the heartbeat of the country called a labor market, where everything you can think of is being sold. There is no access to that market. There's a road that has been cut off with, you can call it a river. And there's a local government that oversees that place. It does not make any sense. But you see, that country has been put in that situation, 70% in abject poverty, because that's the way they want it to be. Let nobody be in a position to speak out. Let's leave them in absolute ignorance. Let's leave them in poverty. I mean, I was watching a program, on Instagram. I follow Barack Obama, and then he shared a picture of this young girl, 16-year-old, who's advocating for climate change, and full of praises for this young girl. This is what the current generation should be doing, fighting for their future. Oh yes, I love that. I'm happy. I'm glad that such a young child like that is dreaming and speaking out. But you see, that is not possible in Nigeria. We don't even have a scenario where we're talking about basic road, where we're talking about basic electricity or basic water or basic infrastructure, starting from our airport. To now be in a mindset or a situation where you now say, oh yeah, I was watching Twitter and I saw some group of young kids fighting for human rights or fighting for climate change. Let me come and participate so I can go to United Nations and speak on behalf of Nigerian children to fight for climate change. That is not possible. It's not going to happen. Because we haven't even been in a position to even ask our basic human rights. You cannot even question the government when they're wrong. I mean, we've seen these messages flying all over the place, telling us about how much they've locked away in crazy banks all over the world, who then use that money to sponsor their businesses to grow more employment opportunities for their people and their country, and our country is now being deprived of the money that it owns because it's been siphoned to another country, and you cannot speak about it. But you see, this video that I'm talking about, this one from RT, now further went to explain what the real situation is, which we've always known, because I come from Ogoniland, where Ken Saro-Wiwa came from. Everybody knew what happened then in 1995. Because he spoke out, he was hung. They arrested him, and some crazy tribunal that didn't make any sense, Shell, the main company that drills oils in Nigeria, was behind the whole thing and ensured that he was killed. I mean, killed through hanging in this current age. Imagine the pain he went through. But that's Nigeria for you. So, what is actually behind which Ken Saro-Wiwa knew then and openly spoke out about it is this multinational corporations across the world going over to countries, especially in Africa. I've talked about it. There's another report I have. This War on Wants people who are explaining what's going on. They go around the world and they siphon all the natural resources of that country, and then they sit back and then they laugh. And then you hear people tell you, go back to the country where you come from, where you have rubbish government in place. Why would we not have rubbish government in place when they are like puppets being, strings being pulled, and, think of a puppet show. Pull this way, pull that way, and in a collaboration with them. Because when you see billions in one president's account, or his daughter's account, or his wife's account, or his deputy's account, billions in there, now you can imagine how much Shell Corporation and the rest of this multinational corporation have taken out of the country for them to be in a position to give billions to these individuals, just to sit there and watch a country being destroyed. 200 million people, hopeless. Right now we have this issue going on in South Africa where Nigerians are being killed burnt, all the property burnt or whatever. I don't know what the details are. But now, Nigerians are being sent back home. So what are they going to go back to? That's the country we come from. And so my big message, which is this blinded by programs, these are the programs that are just sitting there and blocking us from waking up to reality. Waking up to what our situation, waking up to the humans that we're meant to be, the peace of God in us that we're meant to be able to contribute to life. So it's become very clear to me what's going on. Because trust me, I've been through the system. I have seen it all. Coming from Africa, living there, growing up my basic young years, I was there for 28 years, and then I came over here and carried on. I know what goes on in the different continents. I know what's happening in the West. I'll travel around the world. I know what's happening in Africa. And I can tell you from both sides, I know what's going on. So is this programs that's causing our biggest problem, and we need to wake up. We need to wake up. That's why my mission is very clear. To awaken our consciousness for reasons. The God in us has a big message for us. And we know very clearly that it is not these politicians that are going to make our life any better. We know that. We know that they're there for themselves. Nobody needs to pretend to us. I mean, what a thought that came to me the other day is they actually get into power to stop people. That's the whole point. Because why would politicians, you've done 1 year, I mean, most of them are like 8 years. You've done 2 terms, but you still want to carry on. You want to carry on like Mugabe. You want to be there forever. What is the point of it? If you were going to contribute something to your community, should you not have been able to do that in, say, 4 times, if that was the case? Or 2 times, as in the case in America. 2 times should be enough for you if you had any vision, if you have any clear purpose, to finish your purpose and do it. No. It's not enough. I want to go again. And I want to go. You know what? I actually want to be president for life. But see, the big message here is, no matter, this is a big message for all of us. No matter what you think you want to do here on earth, no matter what you think you want to do, suppress people, oppress people, destroy people, kill, maim, whatever, there's a beginning and there's an end. Not even Hitler lasted forever. You name them. Go into history and find all the people you could find that were man, oh wow, instill fear. Everyone, when you heard that name, you shook, you shivered, you're so scared you don't know where to run to. Not any one of them lasted forever. So that's the big message. So if you like, put 50 billion, put trillions in your account. I was watching a program from Jack Ma, this owner of Alibaba. We all know he's a billionaire. He worked hard for what he's become. Nobody failed as much as he did. But he held on to his belief. And when they interviewed him, he said one of his favorite movies is Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump, question was, why do you like Forrest Gump? Because Forrest Gump never gave up. He was told, carry on, run, Forrest, run. And so Forrest Gump kept running. And that's how he believes in his head. It's about just keep going. That's the awakening now. So Jack Ma was asked, all these billions, what do you want to do with it? And he said, when a person has $1 million or pounds or whatever, that to you is your own money. Because there's something you can do with £1 million. Then he said, going further, maybe 10 million, okay, that's fine, that's your money. But when the money gets to $1 billion, now you can never spend that no matter how old you are. You can't finish spending that in your lifetime. So to him, the big message of £1 billion, billions in his account, is the trust of the people in him. For his business to have grown, for him to have billions, that means the people trusted him and they've given him that billion. to use in helping them. Do you see how he analyzed it? The money to him wasn't for him to spend on himself. Because if he wanted to spend on himself, 1 million is okay, 10 million tops. But $1 billion, that's why people trust in him to use that money to help them. And so for him, he's always looking at what's the next thing I can do to help humanity? What's the next thing I can do to help people, women, children, the unemployed, youths? That's how he thinks. But no, that's definitely not Nigerian politicians who think, ooh, I should have 5 billion in my account, sitting in one account. You're not counting all the accounts they have. One account, 5 billion. So the big message, just like Jack Ma experienced in all his failures, he finally realized that it was about him. It was about his ability to carry on no matter what happened. That's the message I want to share with you. Because you see, it's not the programs that's going to make you who you are meant to be. For the clear reason that you are. If you didn't know this today, you are a part of God. You are a piece of God. And so, God has big mission for you. Clear mission. And so what you don't want to do is accept these programs that will then stop you from carrying on what you're actually meant to be. The programs are out there to distract you, to stop you, to destroy you. And because what you need to ask yourself clearly is, am I actually meant to be uniform, the same as another person? When you realize that you're not meant to be like another person, you will then ask yourself, so who am I? That's one of the things Neale Donald Walsch says. Ask yourself daily, every day, every minute as you wake up, who am I? What am I here to do? Because when you do that, what you will find is the message will come back, which is God speaking to you every day. Says he speaks to us every day. I mean, I've always said that, but somehow, maybe me just talking wasn't enough until I came across that book. Oh yes, so God has been speaking to me, yes. And that's why I come and share the messages he's given me with you. Ask yourself, who am I? What am I here to do? The answers will come. And then what you then do is start acting on them. Start taking action. Start moving your life forward. And start differentiating your mission from the programs. You will know programs when you see them or when you come across them. Programs are when you've been told this is not meant for you, this is not for you, this is where you're supposed to, people start telling you what you should be. That's a program. And you need to query it. You need to query it and think out of it. And that's what I've done over the years. That's what's held me strong. The fact that I've always questioned things. The fact that I've always known that if somebody tells me something, this is the way I look at it. I'll first of all ask, and is that a message from God? Or is that a human being also just telling me another thing? There's a book I read, Madam C.J. Walker. And she was very clear that when she realized that she wasn't here for humans, she was here to achieve a purpose, she got on with it. She got on with it. Because, you look at the history of the black people in America. I mean, today it was on the news, 1619, and now 400 years they are looking into what happened. Black people were basically held down deliberately. And so, if you accept that, then you'll be held down forever. And that's what I'm telling us. Everybody knows it was the wrong thing that was done to the blacks, but is anybody taking responsibility and accepting that they did wrong? No. And that's why one of the big messages I keep telling people is, Start creating history and stop living history. Your everyday is history. And so if you will let them, they want us to keep living in that 400 years. And you need to snap out of it. You need to snap out. Come out of the program. Take the red pill. So I'm going to leave it here today for this particular video. There's always more coming your way. Now, stay tuned with us, especially on Instagram. We'd like you to, show some love for the things we're doing. Give us your comments, anything that you think we've done right, thumbs up, like us, share with your friends, and on YouTube as well, share with your friends, give us thumbs up, and subscribe, because the more you follow us, the more we can get the message across to you. We all need these messages to help pep us up and get us ready for the bigger missions that are ahead of us. We have to take on this movement and move forward so that we can create a better future for our children and our great-grandchildren and our unborn generation. They need to come to meet a better world, a better Africa in particular. And then they can look back and thank their great-grandparents for taking a stand and standing for their future as well. So see you in the next video, and God continue to bless you.